Good evening. It's 6 o'clock on Monday, April 25th. Welcome and thank you for joining us tonight for the English edition of Aura News. It seems like the consensus between the political parties over the justice reform has not lasted, even though the parties resumed dialogue several days ago and reached agreement on some important issues concerning constitutional changes. The reform remains unrealized due to the lack of political consensus. In the recent meeting of the Ad Hoc Commission on Justice Reform, the parties agreed on the issues related to the fight against corruption, but they are divided in their stances concerning the establishment of new institutions. The U.S. OPDAT and Euralis experts are all dealing with the unfinished technical issues the party have left without finding a solution. Today, the Democrats began a 10-day boycott of the Ad Hoc Commission meeting. The majority members continued the meeting of the commission without them. The Democrats went before the Assembly building to make their stance public. The vice chairman of the Ad Hoc Commission, the Democrat MP Edward Halimi, declared that the Prime Minister does not want the justice reform because, according to him, the Prime Minister is defending the criminal gangs. The opposition is against the criminal standard of Eddie Rama. He ordered Sali Berisha's exclusion from Parliament for 10 days after he denounced Shulazi's criminal activity. The Prime Minister also defends Emiliano Shulazi, just like he has done for the last 3 years. Instead of thanking the prosecution, the Prime Minister declared that the police had asked for Shulazi's arrest and that the prosecution had delayed issuing the arrest order, said Halimi, adding that the reform will be made based on the Venice recommendations. Sources within the Democratic Party say that the left-wing experts do not accept the DP proposals related to the establishment of new institutions, creating a new stalemate between them. The Democrats are against the new institutions because, according to them, they create an atmosphere of distrust and do not guarantee independence. The Democratic Party decided today to boycott Parliament for 10 days as a sign of support for Mr. Berisha, considering the Bureau of Assembly's decision to exclude the former Prime Minister, Sali Berisha, from Parliament for 10 days to be unfair. The Democratic Party made the decision in the closed-doors meeting of the DP parliamentary group. After the meeting, the DP chairman, Lulzam Basha, declared that the former Prime Minister was excluded as a sign of revenge against Berisha's denouncing the government for being connected to organized crime. The Democratic Party chairman declared that criminal gangs are intervening in political decision-making and accused the Prime Minister and the Minister of Interior of impeding the investigations against Emiliano Shulazi and his gang. Eddie Rama's government is being run as the government of Emiliano Shulazi. State offices are at the disposal of criminals who are terrorizing Albanian citizens. These criminals are also impacting political decisions, said Basha. The DP chairman also encouraged the prosecutor's office to continue with the investigations against Shulazi. He declared that the Democratic Party, along with the citizens and international partners, will see this battle through the end by saying, "We encourage the investigation of this issue. We encourage prosecutors with integrity to mark a turning point with the arrest of Emiliano Shulazi and the members of his criminal gang. The Democratic Party is determined, along with the citizens and our partners, to see this issue through to the end." It is learned that the former Prime Minister, Sali Berisha, has asked the DP MPs not to implicate themselves in his proposal for drafting a law that allows people to get armed. Prime Minister Eddie Rama criticized the decision of the Democratic Party to boycott Parliament for 10 days. He declared that the DP supports the former Prime Minister's statement. According to the Prime Minister, Berisha called people to get armed to obstruct judicial reform. The Democratic Party responded with a boycott to the just decision of the Bureau of Assembly to exclude for 10 days the person who called citizens to get armed. So the DP is in solidarity with the call to arms. They are saying, get armed in order to defend yourselves from the justice reform, said the Prime Minister, adding that the Democratic Party is trying to hamper the judicial reform at any cost. During the meeting of the Socialist Parliamentary Group, the Prime Minister called the MPs to speak with the citizens, familiarize the citizens with the reforms the government has taken so far. During his speech, Prime Minister Rama mentioned the reforms made so far and their results in the Albanian economy. According to him, the reforms have been positively evaluated by International Monetary Fund and the World Bank. The public debt is completely under control. The intervention in 2013 avoided a financial collapse and reduced it. Economic growth is expected to be 3.4%. Foreign investments have reached a historic record. On the other hand, unemployment remains a huge challenge for Albania and the region, Rama said. Listing the reforms that his government has made, the Prime Minister announced the next reform, which will be in the water sector. The Association of Banks reports that the level of defaulted loans increased in the first 2 months of the year, reaching 18.9%, after a slight decrease during 2015. According to the data of the association, of the level of unrepaid loans decreased to 18.2% in December. It rose to 18.4% in January and again to 18.9% in February. This shows that citizens and businesses are having problems with repaying their loans. The report also said that last year's decrease in defaulted loan levels was a consequence of deleting bank loans for which there was no hope for repayment from the bank's balance sheets. This fact was made public in the Bank of Albania's statement last year. The Bank of Albania highlighted a decrease in defaulted loans, showing at 15.3% in December. The electricity loss in the distribution network for 2015 has reached the lowest level in the last 5 years. The Electricity Regulatory Authority has publicized its annual report, which concluded that during the past year, the losses have been reduced by 7%. For 2016, the operator for energy distribution predicts lower losses up to 27 or 28%. But according to the experts, this level is difficult to achieve without more needed investments in the network. The report highlights electricity for heating being the same observation as from previous years. The report states that any temperature change is immediately reflected in daily electric consumption. According to the experts, high energy consumption during winter is directly related to the way the houses in Albania are constructed, which lack thermal isolation. Given this, the Minister of Energy is preparing a draft which will obligate the families to insulate their houses. For the third year in a row, the government has opened the internship program for the Public Administration Office. This year, the government's program includes the Albanian diaspora as well. Through this program, the government gives an opportunity to 2,000 people to be employed in the public administration field. The Minister of Social Welfare declared that diaspora students have the right to be part of the public administration. We are offering a program that provides employment to young people. The program is not only for those who live in Albania, but also for diaspora young people. They can come and give their contribution in the public administration. Our internship program is one of the most successful, said the Minister of Social Welfare. The Prime Minister also praised the National Work Program, encouraging the youth to become part of the program. He announced that the winners of this program will sign a one-year work contract. We are laying the foundations of a European administration. The program increases capacities through practice. The program gives the opportunity to work in the public administration, said the Prime Minister. That's all for our English edition this evening. Join us again Monday through Saturday at 6 p.m., where we bring your local news in English. Thank you and good night.